it's all very well watching other people pre-sprouting and doing all these seedings and putting things under grow lights and soaking bulbs like I'm doing here. But unless you actually see someone doing it and it actually working, it's still a huge gamble to go out and buy the stuff and accept that the YouTuber or whatever is giving you information that is reliable. And you have to take some gambles, of course, and you have to trust people. So, and there's a lot of YouTubers out there who have proven results, which is why I did this myself. So this is a pre-sprouting update because I wanted you to see that it was actually working. And it didn't at first. So let me get to that in a bit. There was a really key factor which I will come to nearer the end. So what I did was I got my ranunculus and I went on a buying frenzy, having seen all these pre-sprouting videos, and then I pre-sprouted them by soaking them, or well, I soaked them all rather in these jars which I labeled first, and I went through them all, my different varieties. I haven't bothered to stagger any. I think I got one packet Piketty, which is in another video. That parcel actually arrived while I was doing another video. And so then I basically had them all like so in their jars. And every hour or so, when I remembered, I just kind of swilled them around under the water in my garage to oxygenate them and just give them fresh, clean water. Then I labelled these, I used the labels to label these trays, and I placed my ranunculus root down. The anemones, I just chucked them in because it's really difficult to tell. The roots kind of come out all over. But the ranunculus I put face down, and I put them on this table, which was fairly dark and cool in my garage. But there was a side light window, and there's a window downstairs which leaks some light up into this area. So when I went back to visit them, after about a week to 10 days, I was really disappointed to see that nothing had happened and they were a little bit dry. I took out 2 mouldy anemones because I didn't want the mould to infect the others. And I decided I had a bit of a problem. I thought, this isn't working. There should be some activity here now. So I came back, I watched a few more videos, and I did some thinking. And although I thought I'd done everything right, I was pretty sure I'd done everything right. Just my gut instinct was telling me they're too dry and perhaps they should be even darker. So as you can see, that table is clear now, and to the left there is a closed door. It's the only room in my garage that doesn't have a window or any light. So I decided to put them on this old bed here in this little room. So I took them from there, as you can see, and then I moved them onto the slats of this old bed, and I misted them again because I felt that they were just too dry. They weren't bone dry, but I felt they were just too dry to signal to them, that it was time to start growing. This was kind of just my gut instincts. And as you can see, I put a little bit more of the seed and cutting compost on top to make sure they were covered. And then I put them in here. There's another mouldy one. Look, I'm removing there. Don't want those in there. They're just no good at all. So, and then I put them in here where I could actually close the door and it would be completely dark. And look what happened. And this literally started happening within 2 days of me putting them in the darkness. So it seems to me that darkness is key. So as you can see now, this is 2 weeks on. I think it's 2 weeks. It may be a little bit longer because, yes, it's probably about 3 weeks because the first week nothing happened. So I think darkness it's really the main factor that changed about these plants, and these were later. So these arrived in a parcel when I was doing another video, and although they were a good week to 10 days later than the other ones before I soaked them and put them in here, once they were in this dark room with the other ones, because they went straight in here, they're sprouting already. So they're not even that far behind the other ones that I did 2 weeks earlier, but had them in that lighter area. So the anemones are a little bit harder to tell. They don't have these sort of sprouts, but I did find that they were sprouting. Let me find you one. Sorry about this videoing. I'm going to have to do better on my videoing. I'm so sorry about this. I always think when I'm filming it, it's all right, but then when I'm editing it and watching it back, I'm thinking, what? There we go. So you can see, look, they've got their roots. So these are the anemones, and you can see what I mean about you can't tell almost which way. Only once the roots sprout, you can tell which way up they are, but until that moment, it's very difficult. But that one's dry, so I'm definitely going to come back anyway, and I am going to miss this because where the soil is very wet here, you've got these, not very wet, sorry, very obviously damp, you get the roots. But this side here, where it's right on the edge of the foil tray, got quite dry, and so there's no roots there. So I'm going to go and make sure I mist them all equally, and I'm not going to put them out because we've been having awful storms. Our great big oak tree in the churchyard has collapsed. It must be 200 years old. It's split right down the middle and right across the graves, and ditto all over the countryside around here. Trees are down everywhere. So they are this, and it's also a little bit disappointing because I had so many gardening videos planned. I had actually so many jobs for the garden as well, and I haven't been able to do any of them because the weather has been crazy. Although that said, it's been quite mild. So I am over the moon with this result. So I definitely will reiterate to you, if you are doing this method, then you must have them in the dark for the best chance of success, and also make sure they don't dry out, because as you can see from my anemones that these are the Picotee. These are Ranunculus Picotee, so I'm really excited to see how these will grow. Actually, I'm so excited about these because I've had very hit and miss results with anemones, and I think I've only ever had like 1 or 2 ranunculus come up without pre-sprouting. I've made a dirty stain on the carpet there by coming straight in from the soggy garden. Well, that's your lot for now. I hope you get a lot of help from that, because what I don't want you to do is go and buy a ton of ranunculus and, you know, be disappointed like I was when I first did them. So we'll see. Obviously, I'll do an update once they start to grow and flower. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.